Hi guys, this is Roxum087. Welcome to my video review of the Nebula Zevtech Silencerco RMR slide kit for the Tokyo Marui Glock 18C. So, to my surprise, Nebula decided to release a bunch of super nice Zevtech Glock slides, and the one I'm reviewing right now is the only RMR slide that they make as of right now. That is the one for the Tokyo Marui Glock 18C. But I know you guys are also interested in the others, so I'll just quickly go over all the details about them, all the details that I know of, that is. So let's begin. In total, Nebula released 5 slides, and the RMR Zevtech Silencerco, of course, is this one for the Glock 18C. Okay, and the others are for the Tokyo Marui Glock 17. This one is the Zevtech Glock 34 Noveski. Okay, so as you can see, it's actually almost exactly the same as the shooting team. In fact, it looks exactly the same to my understanding, with the dragonfly cuts and all that stuff. I'll make a video for this later on. Okay. Next, we have these Zevtech Veteran Glock 17 with the American flag and straight serrations on the top, which I do not have. I also don't have the last one that they have, which is the Zevtech Tribolite Cut Glock 17, and it comes in black and flat dark earth. And the Tribolite Cut is the one with loads of serrations on the front and the rear of the slide, which is actually very, very unique looking. Keep in mind, all of the slides for the 17, you have to remember that iron sights won't look like the 18 one, okay? It will actually come with a fiber optic. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, the fiber optic is right there. Okay, all the 17's version comes with a fiber optic, just to let you know. Alright guys, so let's go over what you get in the slide kit itself, okay? So when you first get it, it comes packaged like this. Very, very simple. Just like the same as the Prime slides and stuff, okay? And just to give you guys a heads up, this is OEM'd by Prime, okay? So the quality of the texture, the quality of the cuts is very, very similar. However, I will say that the coating is slightly different than I expected, okay? It is nevertheless quite smooth, but I would say it's very similar to Nova Prime. It's okay. Like, I prefer a different coating, but it's still pretty good, okay? So let's go through all the minor stuff, okay? So this is the iron sights. Iron sights do not have inserts in them, but nevertheless, they are raised iron sights. They are the proper style. Do note that the front actually has the Trigicon marking on it, okay? So that's a touch that they didn't do last time, which I'm glad they did this time, okay? Very, very nice touch. I quite like that. And now we have the Glock 18 part that disables the full auto function, okay? This part just installs at the back of the blowback housing unit. And this is the extractor and the appropriate screws for all that stuff, okay? These are probably, they look like they are for the RMR. And they are marked on top, okay? I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, they are marked, so it's actually quite a nice touch, okay? It's a very, very minor thing, but it adds to the overall look of the slide, okay? And now the barrel, sorry. So the barrel has very, very nice cuts to it. It has Zevtech, okay? And all these cuts at the top. I'm not sure what this barrel is supposed to be a copy of in the real steel world. I don't even know what the real steel barrel is supposed to be. And this is the thread protector, okay? So it actually gives it a very, very nice two-tone look when you have it installed, okay? And note that the thread protector has a different shade of black relative to this slide. So now let's look at the main attraction, okay? The slide itself. So when you first get it, it already comes with an RMR plate already on it. This is pretty much the only RMR slide kit that I know that comes with for Glocks that comes with an RMR plate on top, which actually looks very beautiful already. Like, I've never seen a plate like this. It actually has cuts into it already. Those are 2 screws already securing it in place, and it's just very, very flush, very, very clean looking. And of course, we have your Zevtech style rear cocking serrations. These are very, very common in all the Zevtech slides. You will also find this on the Tribolites. The Tribolites pretty much have these serrations covered all over the slide, okay? And now we'll move on to the front, okay? So the one unique thing about these slides is that they have something called a dragonfly cut. Now, the dragonfly cut basically looks something like this, okay? Apparently, the real steel world, it's meant to look like this. It's meant to have the holes cut right through. But apparently the Silencerco Zevtech version has these areas here closed, okay? I'm not sure why that is in the real. I'm not sure why the real steel reason is, but it just looks very different. It gives it a very unique look. And at the top of the slide, you have these ports over here that does show you the barrel. And now for the markings. So right off the bat, I can tell you that the Osprey logo on the top is actually the very nicely done. It actually looks very pretty, very detailed. Okay, looks the part. Okay, the Silencerco on the other hand, it does also look exactly the same as the real steel version, but however, I will say that it's not as deep as the other markings. Like, it doesn't look as deep. Like, it's hard for you to see on camera, but it just looks a little bit different. Okay, not so sure why. But the ZevTech Custom over here is perfectly fine, okay? I'm just being a little bit too picky with the outlook and all that stuff. But anyways, that's it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the slide, okay? So now I'll basically install everything on my Glock, and instead of showing you the whole installation process, I'll basically give you guys a heads up on if you need to modify something or something like that. Alright guys, I just assembled mine, and I had to do this off camera, and I couldn't film the whole entire process of me putting everything together, is because there are some problems I've already encountered in this kit, okay? Now that being said, the problems are very minor, okay? So I'll just go through all these little things with you in a second, but first let's just take a look at the slide itself, okay? So it actually looks very pretty. Like, I can't believe I went all the way to Mongkok and I forgot to get the trigger. By the way, the actual look is that you're supposed to have a magwell as well, and the trigger with the red trigger safety. It's to identify that it's a Glockworks trigger or something like that, or a ZevTech trigger kit or something like that. A Falcon trigger, I think that's what it's called. Maybe I got that wrong. But anyways, you're supposed to, if you want this kit just for looks, I'm missing the trigger, the proper magazine release, and the magwell. Okay, there is no such thing as a ZevTech magwell in the airsoft world, but you can make one. Like, if you just get a 5KU or a Thunder Airsoft one and you can modify it or engrave it, that's probably what I'll do in the much distant future. I only got this kit to collect, by the way. Okay, so let's go through a couple more additional details first. Okay, so first for the thread protector, I forgot to tell you guys that you unscrew it counterclockwise to take it off, and clockwise to install it. Okay. Now this thread protector appears to come off very easily every time I fire it. Okay, like every time it fires, sometimes it starts wobbling out, coming off a little bit by a little bit. So I like to tighten mines a lot. Okay, and the only extra thing I did was that I added a harder recoil spring and a SA recoil guide rod. Okay, I just use it because it's Actually, you know what? I'll mention it to you guys in the fitment part. Okay, but let's just see how it fires. As you can see, my slide's still very gritty, okay? So let me see. Oh no, this ran out of gas. I forgot because I was testing it. Okay, so this mag is cold, but I remember I just gassed this up, okay? Stock 2 Marine mag. Okay, it's actually so clean. I haven't seen a clean Marine mag in a long time, because I haven't bought a Marine Glock in a while. Okay, so let's just see. So if you notice that my slide is actually moving very sluggishly, is because as I cock it, it's you know the Glock 18 has this thing over there, like sort of right on top of the area of the valve knocker. It's hitting it very often. Okay, so I probably have to do some slide work. Okay. So anyways, let's show you guys a couple more additional details, which is the tolerancing of the slide. Okay. So let's just zoom out a bit. Okay. So okay, so the back has a loose tolerance. Okay, I sort of expected this because it's by Prime. All of their Prime Glock slides appears to be like this, except for a couple. Very few exceptions of Prime slides actually do this. Okay, and just to show you guys also the front. Okay, and again the gun is clear. I know. Oh, sorry, crap. Okay, so look carefully at this area, at the crescent area. Can you see it move like that? Oh, by the way, if any airsoft company or Prime is looking at this, please spec your stuff in on the railings and this area a little bit tighter, so it won't do this, okay? Because it messes with the accuracy. As you can see, you look at the barrel now. I can move the barrel just by moving the slide, okay? So that's the thing I'm not a big fan of, okay? But then I don't intend to actually use this. I bought this just purely to collect, but nevertheless, it is something that you know, I don't mind seeing, you know, just to tighten up the tolerance a little bit. Okay, everything else is perfectly fine. Okay. No, okay, so gas efficiency is okay. It's okay. It's not. I'm pretty sure I can't empty a whole mag because I've done no slide work on this literally. Not enough anyways. So let's go through all the things I did internally. Like all the work, all the small little bit of work to get this to fit. There's stock Tokyo Marine, okay? The only thing I did was that I polished up the back over here and I basically lowered this a little bit, okay? The reason why I sanded this and lowered this a little bit because it is on a garter frame, okay? This is currently a garter frame. You know it's a garter frame because it has a dummy pin over here. The stock Tokyo Marine one doesn't have it. Okay, this is the stock Tokyo Marine frame. It used to be on this. Okay. See the top? It doesn't have anything, but the garter one has. Okay. So it's on a currently fitted onto a garter frame. Whenever you fit a Glock on a garter frame, there's always going to be a gritty issue at first. There's different methods of solving it. I solve it using my own method. Okay, so you don't have to do what I do. Just letting you know that I did that. I also removed the frame nose. Okay, so what I did was I sanded this down so there's no contact at the front between the front of the slide. So let me demonstrate what that looks like. Oh, you know what? I'll demonstrate what that looks like later on because I don't want to keep putting on and off the slide. I don't want to loosen any more of the tolerancing. Okay, so this is currently the guide rod I'm using. I only use this guide rod because you know the front here, it's silver. It has this two-tone look. That's the only reason why I use it. You don't have to use it. I have the stock Tokyo Marine recoil spring cap, snapped it onto here with a trimmed down what is this spring again? This is a shooter's design spring that I cut a lot off so I can compress it into here. Okay, I trimmed this down by a lot, by the way. So if I took this off, it's actually very, very soft. The only reason why I did this was because this is the only spring I don't use. So I decided to use it today. And there's two very important things that you have to take note that I did to my own, okay? So I don't know if you can see, but inside, can you see that there's a little bit of area sanded over there? So what happened is, when I was moving my nozzle, it was hitting that area. In fact, it's still somewhat hitting that area. Can you see? It's hitting that area a little bit. So there's a little bit of a gritty issue. But nevertheless, it does move relatively okay. Again, I only bought this to collect, so I'm not going to modify it. Like all my RMR Glocks, I really build it to collect. I'll work on the performance one day, but then for now, you know, this is already a pricey slide. I'm just going to stick to a budget. Yeah, you see? Oh, you see? There we go. It just got caught on it. There's that ledge there that gets caught. So you can actually see where I sanded that down now. That silver part, I sanded down at the back over here. Now, the other very, very important thing that I need you guys to note is the barrel tilt issue. There is a barrel tilt issue. If you don't know what that is, the next part of the video will explain. Let me just grab a magazine, stock Tokyo Marine magazine that cleaned with my Glock 18. Okay. Now, I'm just gonna fire it until it does that lock. Okay. See, there we go. Okay, so you see, it is not slide locking, and it just locked itself up, okay? I'll take the magazine out very slowly. Okay, so you see this lock, okay? Now, watch what happens, okay? I'm going to push the barrel over here. See? See how that works? That is called the barrel tilt issue, okay? And now I'll show you guys how to fix it. Oh, by the way, this barrel tilt issue doesn't happen very often. It only happens with certain aftermarket slides. I'm not going to point fingers at them, but you know, I'm just letting you know that it is sometimes a problem. This problem can also show up depending on how you modify your Glocks. I try not to sand down anything on my rails, but sometimes if you sand it down too much, it will cause the slide to sit at a different angle relative to a barrel tilt, and that can also enhance or create this barrel tilt issue. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how you verify the barrel tilt if you improved it or if you lowered it, okay? So what you do is take your Glock, take this, make sure it's not exactly completely into the barrel, and tuck it into the frame. Okay, I did it wrong. Sorry, I'm looking at the camera screen. Sorry, it's hard to see this looking at the camera screen. I sort of have to guess where my hands go. That, and I'm not very organized. Okay, see, there we go. So I locked in the barrel, okay? So this, when your barrel's like this is the position that it's in when your slide's forward, okay? When your slide, it's just completely still, like this. When your slide's like this, it is in this position, okay? When you pull the slide back, it gets into that position. So you see, you notice that there's a barrel tilt immediately. So what you have to do to lower that barrel tilt is, you see that area inside over here? Now, as I mentioned earlier, I actually sanded down and removed that away, okay? So after I remove that, it sits lower now. The barrel tilt is lower, okay? You will also notice that I increased the slope on this area over here of the barrel, okay? And the reason why that is that back then the slope was too near the chassis, and what happens was it wasn't, it was sitting a little bit more forward and with the tilt. So I basically removed a little bit of those two. Don't sand it down too much, okay? If you have trouble guessing how much to sand down, this is how much I did. Okay, you notice that I used to have something there? It was gone. It's gone now. I also sanded down this area, right here, the slope, just a little bit. Only do a little bit here. Make this part flat here, okay? And that's all I did. Do you have to do this? Well, only do this to your Glock if you actually have this issue. If you don't have this issue, keep firing your Glock. If you have that issue, then consider modifying it the way I do it. You don't have to do it. I'm just letting you know that this is what I did. This also, by the way, reduces the barrel pressure and the barrel wear because it doesn't push up against the top side of here. As you can see, it was pushing up, so that's why I was getting scratched a lot. Okay guys, so that's all the modifications I did to my Glock. Thank you guys for watching. Please let me know what you guys think of my build. Please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. And I will be doing an update video later on about this. I will work on the performance much later on, and I'll also be building the Glock 34 Noveski later on. Peace guys. Happy shooting.